Hey there, RC Girl here. If you're looking for a performance-based RC crawler for less than 300 bucks, Redcat Racing has you covered. Today we're taking a look at the new Everest Ascent RC crawler. This thing has a lot of cool features that typically you'll see on trucks twice the price. Their newly designed low center of gravity chassis includes optional 10 or 20% underdrive gearing, internal and external spring shocks, portal axles, multiple options for battery placement, so much more. So today we're going to check it out. We're going to put it to the test, see how it performs. Stay tuned. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. I'm all about helping people grow in the radio control hobbies. We're also almost at 100K subscribers, so exciting. For my next video, we're flying out to Texas. I don't know if you guys can take a guess about who is located in Texas. If you guys don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe. Also, I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons on Patreon for helping make this video possible. Welcome to my latest patron, Rusa. All right, let's take it away. We are taking the Everest Ascent on its maiden voyage. Alrighty, here we are. First run. Nice. Whoa boy, there we go, the first tumble. Already had a spill. Already freaking had a spill. Nice job, little buddy. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like the price of everything nowadays is going up. So it's really great to see Redcat coming out with a really affordable option for the RC crawler market. That's going to make this really accessible for a lot of people. Really great to see. This truck comes in two different options: the red body style, which is the single piece body that goes for $289.99, as well as the blue body option, which is a two-piece body. You can remove the bed if you want, slightly cropped in the front and rear as well. That goes for $299. I really like the look of this truck. It's super squat. Their LCG, or low center of gravity chassis, is a completely new platform. Seems like a lot of thought and care went into the design of this truck. This is going to be a 12.3 inch wheelbase, very comparative to options out there like some of the TRX4s and the SCX-10 but this truck seems to sit a little bit lower to the ground than some of those. We're also going to get high clearance portal axles. These are actually the Gen 9 axles, so really great that some of the aftermarket parts from Trio and others are going to fit onto these already, so great to see aftermarket support there. They did a matte finish on the truck bed here. You get a sticker decal for this little storage compartment. It doesn't open though. For the front, we have a sticker design front grille. And I learned from one of my Instagram followers that this is actually the Kaiju body that's on one of the Redcat Bashers that's been used as a crawler body for a while now. So there are actually 3D printed parts available for this body, which is very cool. There's a 3D printed grille and some hood vents. We're going to have to print some of these out. Really great that you can see through our windows. They have a little bit of tint here though. Kind of hides your internals, all the wires and stuff. Also great for folks that want to do a scale interior or add a scale driver. I really like the plastic front and rear bumpers, really high clearance, really nice, sleek, streamlined look here. Taking a look at our rears as well. Another cool design element is the body is super easy to take off. It has a hinge design here. There's two body clips here on the rear. It's on a hinge. It's like a clamshell. The body swings up. It also can come off. So you just snap it off the front here and the body comes completely off. Two options there for taking the body off. It even has these little pads here to keep the body from scraping off your paint. Really nice touch there. This comes with pretty deep treaded tires. These are 1.9 size inner diameter tires. Not a scale licensed tire, but a pretty aggressive tread here. Mud terrains. These are going to be vented tires. They are also glued on, so not a beadlock tire here. These are white. The white rims don't look too bad. I might paint them black, but we'll see. Just seeing this now, kind of cool. They have a set of red and blue faux beadlock rings. So if you want to add a accent color to your beadlock ring, They provide red and blue options. And I just got these new stands from Traxxas, kind of cool. So they're aluminum rotating work stands. They come in 2 different sizes. This is the 1/8 and 1/10 scale. And they also make a X truck stand, which is for like the X Max, the really big ones. Pretty cool that they rotate, and you can also lock them in a lot of different positions. So as you're working on it, you can move your truck around and lock it into position. Pretty cool. One very cool feature of this truck is it comes with optional underdrive. You can easily swap out the gears in your transmission to make your rear wheels spin at a slower speed than your fronts. Your front wheels can really dig in when you're crawling over features. They also designed this to be an easy swap, super easy to work on. To swap out the gears, we're going to remove our transmission box using these 2 screws here. And we're also going to remove the 2 screws holding in our rear shocks. It's going to allow us to slide out our transmission, and we're going to swap in 2 gears for the underdrive. We'll demonstrate that quickly. This is with 0% underdrive that comes stock out of the box. Then we're going to swap in our 10% underdrive gears, as well as our 20% underdrive gears. This comes with a Metal Gear waterproof servo. This is going to have 35 kilograms of torque, which is pretty high for a RC crawler out of the box. Really nice. We have an aluminum servo horn down there. It doesn't say the tooth spline. I'm going to guess 25 tooth. This comes standard on a lot of trucks. There's also a slot down there, I don't know if you guys can see, to mount a servo winch. We're going to have to move our ESC elsewhere, but there's a spot to mount a servo winch. Here is our Hexfly ESC. It has a 7.4 volt internal BEC. So that's going to be powering your electronics at somewhat of a higher voltage than I typically see out of the box in ready to run trucks. We have a on and off switch here. Nice little metal heat sink on the exterior, and it is running a DIN connector. So I run XT60, so I'm either going to have to use an adapter or solder on an XT60 connector. I have a video for swapping out connectors if you guys want to take a look at that. This is going to be 2 and 3S LiPo capable. We have a 550 size 42 turn brushed motor setup here. This is a front mounted motor as well, and it's actually mounted pretty low, seated pretty low on the chassis to keep our weight down low, keep that center of gravity low. Nice little gold pinion gear there, and we also have an exposed spur gear. Not my favorite. Those tend to kind of get junk and rocks and stuff kicking up onto that, so something to keep an eye out for, make sure that those aren't wearing down. We're going to get a 4-channel radio receiver system out of the box. This is the RTX 4C or 4-channel radio system. You have endpoint adjustments for all of the channels. 1 channel we're using for our motor, 1 channel for our steering, and you're gonna have 2 spare channels for other accessories that you wanna plug in. For example, a winch or some lighting. There is also a little hidden storage compartment down here where you can either hide some tools, a little T-wrench, kind of neat little option there. This is our 4-channel receiver here, kind of just floating out in the middle of nowhere, no protection, no receiver box, so that's not going to be waterproof, just FYI. I believe all the rest of the electronics are waterproof. If you want to waterproof something like this Cowformal waterproof coating will do the job. Sort of like nail polish, you get in there, all the exposed metal parts, you're going to want to paint a generous coat onto all of that. One thing they did with battery placement is they made it modular. So you can mount your battery back here in this tray. You can even move the sides into different places here if you have a shorty pack, or if you were running saddle packs on the side, for example, you can move the straps to the sides and run 2 batteries on the side. Look at these chassis rails. They're super thick. Crazy. So these are going to be hardened steel, 3 millimeters thick chassis rails, going to make your truck super, super stiff. It looks like our shock towers are also made out of that 3 millimeter thick steel. Kind of neat. I don't believe they're aluminum. Basically, I don't know, but it looks like it's the same material as the chassis rails. Lots of different shock mounting positions for different shock tuning that you want to do. Kind of an interesting suspension design here. So we have an aluminum bodied shock, and we also have a spring on the exterior as well as an internal spring. So you can actually remove the internal spring, they said, if you want. We're going to keep that in and run it stock to see how it performs. We don't have a ton of downward travel, but that does keep the weight of your truck down low. It looks like they've really splayed out the rear shock placement back there. Taking a look at the bottom of the truck, we have nice high clearance metal links. Really flat skid here that's going to prevent your truck from hanging up on any features, plastic drive shafts. Overall, a really nice solid chassis. This does not come with any inner fenders, which I typically like to see on trucks. They mentioned that is to keep the weight of the truck down, to keep the center of gravity low. All in all, I am really impressed with the design of this chassis. It is a simple chassis for sure, but lots of thought went into the design and placement of everything. I think this will be great for someone for their first RC ever. Super easy to work on, everything's accessible. Before we take this truck out, we're going to be installing some lights from MyTruckRC. So I have a couple lights here. I am waiting on 3D printing a grill to install some of them, but we're gonna get started at least adding some rock lights and some accent lighting. Let's take it away. Alrighty, so these are the lights we're going to be adding. This is the Dragon controller from MyTruckRC. These are actually currently unavailable, unfortunately. They're relaunching these in a couple months, so these should be available pretty soon. I like this one because there are 4 black high-powered LED ports here. So you can run really high-powered LEDs, super bright, so not just for looks, but actually for functioning on the trail in the dark if you need to see. I'll walk through all the lights I'm going to be using, including some of their new flex LEDs, which are so cool. Can't wait to use these. We're going to turn those off so you can actually see them. So we're going to be using some of their white strip lights. We're going to be using these yellow wafer lights for lighting the interior. I also have these rock lights here. And then lastly, we're going to be using these red flex LEDs. So basically what these are is they're a bunch of individual tiny little LEDs that make it look like it's a solid light. They come in a bunch of different colors. We're actually going to have to 3D print a grill to hold them in place. The body comes with just a sticker here. So this lighting controller can also be controlled from a spare channel on your transmitter. So you can click the button, it'll turn the lights on and off and also toggle through all the lighting modes. I just used a little double-sided sticky tape to stick the lights in place where I wanted them, the rock lights under each of the fenders, and then the wafer lights on the top of the hood. I used zip ties to organize all the cables, and the Dragon controller is powered off of the balance lead from our battery. Ta-da! Everything looks super clean. We're going to have to hold off on the flex and the wafer lights until we 3D print our Kaiju grill. Stay tuned for that in a future video. So all in all, what do I think of the Redcat Everest Ascent? I actually only got to do a short trail run with it. With the low center of gravity, the truck feels super planted. The first feature I went over with this was this really steep log, and it actually did really great. Our servo, super fast, running on 7.4 volts. I tried both 2S and 3S lipos, and it felt a little bit dead on 2S power, so I'd definitely say that this is a 3S crawler for sure. Our suspension felt a little bit stiff. Going over some of the features, I feel like maybe that could be tuned a little bit better. I did still get some body rub with our tires rubbing on the fenders. I think you could even crop the body even more than it already is cropped. That's super easy though, to take some scissors to the Lexan body, trim away some of the fenders. I feel like I need more time with it and some rockier terrain to really put it to the test. The forest here where I live is a lot of loam, a lot of loose gravel, a lot of dirt. So I don't really have like the steep rocky features that I feel like this rig would really excel on. For a truck, less than $300, $289.99 for the red one. I feel like you really can't go wrong. It's definitely gonna be money well spent, and you have a very solid, very well performing crawler. Huge thank you to Redcat Racing for sending one of these out to try out on my channel. Can't wait to share my next video with you guys. We are headed to Texas, so see you guys next time. Or see you later.